Dear friends and family, this is my diary entry to you. Thank you for your patience with this update. I've been completely taken and overwhelmed with Rome, and I've been enjoying my time, and I just haven't been creating my vlogs. I hope that after this one, I will update more regularly. It's quite longer than I had expected, but it's 2.5 weeks worth of a brand new city, country, continent, and I just wanted to share it with all of you. My European journey began with a quick car ride to the Minneapolis airport at 8 a.m. with Dawn. On the way to the airport, I couldn't escape the deep rumbling anxiety within me. I was so nervous for this ride as I had never been out of the country before. All of the plane rides and running through the airports hadn't even began, but I was already so nervous for it. Originally, our flight itinerary was Minneapolis to Toronto, Toronto to Zurich, and Zurich to Rome, and we'd get to Rome early in the morning. But our flight through Air Canada was late to Zurich, and thus began the trip to hell. We made it! We made it! We're in Rome right now, and we're just here for the night. Tomorrow we fly out to Budapest for 5 nights. It's currently only like 7:30, and I'm just ready for bed. I'm so tired. We have had the longest 2 days ever. Anyways, that's the trip so far. A lot of travel, a lot of suckiness, a lot of flights. I have another flight tomorrow to Budapest. And although I'm really looking forward to going, I really just wish I had more time in Rome to sleep, because that's all I want to do right now. Instead of going to Budapest, we were in Rome 5 days early with the entire city left to explore. On that first night, we were without our luggage, extremely tired and exhausted from term. We were ready to grab the next flight home, but things started to turn around quickly. Our first hostel was on the coast, and my first European sunset just above the Mediterranean was gorgeous, and it made our sucky situation a little bit better. As I had said, we weren't able to go to Budapest, but it worked out okay. Here I am in Rome, the eternal city. We spent the next 5 days roaming and getting to know the city, and I fell head over heels. We had a few European firsts, getting lost, drinking wine, and eating a lot of gelato. Because this trip was completely unplanned, we leisurely saw many of the important monuments. Sometimes, even 2.5 weeks in, it still surprises me that I'm living in this incredible city full of history and myth and religion, art and culture. Occasionally, I pinch myself because it's so surreal. A lot of things in Italy have been surprising and unexpected. No matter how many guidebooks you read or how much advice you seek, nothing will prepare you for the sudden onslaught of a foreign language at every turn. At the second hostel we stayed at in Rome, we encountered 2 lovely girls from Canada, and they expressed how great it was to hear another North American accent. At the time, I couldn't fathom feeling the need or the utter happiness to hear a familiar accent. But after being surrounded by nearly only Italian, by the time our classmates arrived, familiarity was much needed. We went to the Colosseum and we used the metro for the first time. A little scary, figured it out, got there, and we were immediately surrounded by people with selfie sticks. We went to the Trevi Fountain, which unfortunately was totally still under construction. It was supposed to be done by March 2015. It's still March, but I don't think it's gonna be done soon, which is super devastating because I totally wanted to be Lizzie McGuire on this trip, and I can't be unless I throw in a coin, the Trevi Fountain, and find Paolo. And we got on a different bus that should have gone to the right spot that we needed to, but because we don't really know how the bus system works, we ended up going in the wrong direction. We ended up at the pyramid, which was cool. We were lost and a little frustrated, but we took pictures of the pyramid anyway. It was pretty cool looking. We took the metro stop that was there, and it was very empty, and I felt totally fine, but I almost got pickpocketed. I can't believe that actually happened. We were just walking on the train, and this woman comes in between me and Madison, and I'm like, okay, she's rushing, she's trying to get to the seat that I'm trying to get to, so I'm gonna get out of her way. But we were connected, and I totally freak out, and I just yell no, and everybody just kind of stares at me, but this person just kind of walks away and off the train. Kind of freaked out, couldn't sleep the next night, just keep having flashbacks, and then the next day we end up back at the same stop to go to a different spot in Rome, and it was just a little freaky. I know I'm doing so poorly on this vlog thing. I just can't get the courage to like walk around and take video of myself talking. Right now I'm doing it and I feel super comfortable. I'm trying to find a good spot to go sit down so I can talk to you guys. I'm not sure what kind of style I want this to be. Like sit down in a park and give you an update, take footage of every single place that I go to and compile all that together, or get footage of nothing of me. It's all B-roll type footage, and then do a voiceover of an update or like what I've seen and how Rome has been. I'm not sure. If you ever wanted to take a selfie in public but couldn't because you were embarrassed, think about holding up your camera to your face for 10 minutes, talking to it, looking like a crazy person. It's not difficult to do this, to put the camera up and talk to it, but it's different and hard, and I'm not sure I quite like it. We'll see. Everything is so foreign. The words, the food, the way people are able to walk on cobblestones without breaking an ankle. It's so amazing. So when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and this began the walking. I've never walked so much in my life.
You know, like, hey.
I spent the better part of my time in Europe trying to create images and video with no tourists or strangers or any unwanted people of any kind to inch their ways into the borders of my frame, of my life. But alas, except from going to the outskirts, the more rural part of Rome, on the Via Appia or the Appian Way, it is absolutely impossible to take a photo, let alone a video, without someone in it. The city is crawling with tourists. I just have to accept the fact that there will be people in my shot of the Pantheon or the Colosseum. You can't get away from them. I'm talking about tourists as if I'm not one of them, and it has been another internal struggle. To Italians, clearly I'm an American, a foreigner, and foreign is deduced to tourists. But am I a tourist for 2.5 months, or am I a resident of the city for 10 weeks? I know what my address is, the surrounding street names, the closest bus and metro stops. I know 2 supermarkets and 1 neighborhood farmer's market. I know that if I can find a bus stop that goes to Termini, I know I can get on the metro and make it home. I know the Italian dial tone is different from America. I know that Italian electricity isn't as strong as US because we've lost power in my apartment twice. I know that Italians don't understand line cues and that pizza is as much a snack food as it is a dinner. I understand why cappuccino has a CH sound without an H in it, but even though I know all of that, I still don't belong. In a game of Where's Waldo, I'd be easily spotted as a red, white, and blue striped American. I'm just as obviously a tourist as the ones I'm trying to keep out of my photos, even if I don't want to be thought of as one. The idea of belonging or not in the city is about perception of myself versus how others perceive me. I can't escape the tourist label as I can't escape the other tourists. Beyond the idea that tourists might ruin one of my photos or videos, it is always interesting to know how odd it is to see modern-day people in ancient structures. Some tourists take a selfie with the monument and move on to the next on their checklist. There are others who stop and take a photo of every little detail of every nook and cranny. I'd like to think that the photos and videos I'm taking are somehow different, more sophisticated, more chic than other tourists. But at the end of the day, we are all trying to document our experiences, so just call me Tourist Shaylin. Thanks again for continuing to watch my videos, especially for making to the end of this long one. Hopefully, I'll update again soon. Ciao!